Hare Krishna, dear devotees, please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada. So, we continue to read Bhagavad-Gita book. Bhagavad-Gita as it is, book written by His Glorious Acharya Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. And today we'll read chapter 3, verse 29, 30, 31. Let's start. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Prakritirguna samudhaha sajante gunakarmaso tan Krishna vido mandan Krishna vinavila vichalayat. Translation. Bewildered by the motives of material nature, the ignorant fully engaged themselves in material activities and become attached. But the wise should not unsettle them, although these duties are inferior due to the performer's lack of knowledge. Persons who are unknowledgeable, the unknowledgeable falsely identify with gross material consciousness and are full of material designations. This body is a gift of the material nature, and one who is too much attached to the bodily consciousness is called manda, or a lazy person without understanding of spirit soul. Ignorant men think that the body Ignorant men think of the body as the self. They accept bodily conceptions with others as kinsmanship. The land in which the body is obtained in their object of worship, and they consider the formalities of religious rituals obedience themselves. Social work, nationalism, and altruism are some of the activities of such materially designated person. Under the spell of such designations, they are always busy in the material field. For them, spiritual realization in math, and so they are not interested. Those who are enlightened in spiritual life forever should not try to agitate such materially engrossed persons. Better to prosecute one's own spiritual activities silently. Such bewildered persons may be engaged in such primary moral principles of life as non-violence and similar materially benevolent work. Men who are ignorant cannot appreciate activities in Krishna consciousness, and therefore Lord Krishna advises us not to disturb them and simply waste valuable time. But the devotees of the Lord are more kind than the Lord because they understand the purpose of the Lord. Consequently, they undertake all kinds of risks, even to the point of approaching ignorant men to try to engage them in the acts of Krishna consciousness, which are absolutely necessary for the human being. Next verse. Мои сарвани кармани саньяся тхятма четаса миш нираширнирм мамо бхутва ядхясва vigata джварах. Translation. Therefore, Arjuna, surrendering all your works into me, which full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, which no claims to proprietorship and free from lethargy, fact. With no claim to proprietorship and free from lethargy, fact. Surrendering all your works unto me, with full knowledge of me, without desires to profit, which no claims to proprietorship and free from the lecture. Right. Purport. This verse clearly indicated the purpose of Bhagavad-Gita. The Lord instructions that one has to become fully Krishna consciousness to discharge duties as if in military discipline, discipline. Certain injunctions may make things a little difficult. Ever, never them, never them, never them, nevertheless, duties must be carried out with dependence on Krishna, because that is the constitution position of the living entity. The living entity cannot be happy independent of the cooperation of the Supreme Lord, because the eternal constitution position of the living entity is to become subordinate to the desires of the Lord. Arjuna has therefore ordered by Krishna to fight as if the Lord were his military commander. One has to sacrifice everything for the good will of the Supreme Lord, and at the same time discharge prescribed duties without coming proprietorship. Arjuna did not have to consider the order of the Lord. He had only to execute his order. The Supreme Lord is the soul of all souls, therefore one who depends solely and wholly on the Supreme Soul without personal con consideration, or in other words, one who is fully Krishna consciousness is called Adhyatma Chetas. Nirashih means that one has to act on the order of the master, but should not expect fruitive results. The caster may count millions of dollars of for his employer, but he does not claim a cent for himself. Similarly, one has to realize that nothing in the world belongs to any individual person, but that everything belongs to the Supreme Lord. That is the real purport of Maya, or upon or into me. And then one acts in such Krishna consciousness. Certainly, he does not claim proprietorship over anything. This consciousness is called nirmama, or nothing in mine is mine. And if there is any reluctance to execute such a stern order, which is without consideration of so-called kismet and the bodily relationship, that is that reluctance should be thrown off. In this way, one may become Vigata Dvara, or without favorishment mentally or lethargy. Everyone, according to his quality and position, has a particular type of work or discharge, and all such duties may be discharged in Krishna consciousness, as described above, that will lead one to the path of liberation. Next verse. Yeme matam idam nityam anutiштханти manavah shradhavanto na suyanto chente tepi karmabhi. Translation. Those persons who execute their duties according to my injunctions and who follow this teaching fi- fi- faithfully without envy become free from the bondage of fruit affections. Become free from the bondage of fruit affections. Purport. The injunctions of the Supreme Personality of Godhead Krishna is the senses of all Vedic wisdom, and therefore is eternally true without exception. As the Vedas are eternal, so this truth of Krishna consciousness is also eternal. One should have firm faith in these injunctions without envying the Lord. There are many philosophers who write comments on the Bhagavad-Gita but have no faith in Krishna. They will never be liberated from the bondage of root effective actions. But an ordinary man with firm faith in the eternal injunctions of the Lord, even though unable to execute such orders because liberated from the bondage of the law of karma. In the beginning of Krishna consciousness, one may not fully discharge the injunctions of the Lord, but because one is not resentful of this principle and works sincerely without consideration of defeat and hopelessness, he will certainly be promoted to the stage of pure Krishna consciousness. So, I want to end, I want to finish today's reading by words on this verse. Krishna told to Arjuna very important words, very important verse. Therefore, O Arjuna, surrendering all your works into me, with full knowledge of me, without desires for profit, with no claim to proprietorship, and free from lethargy, lethargy, fight. We have to remember this verse and these words, this verse and this word of Krishna every day when we start our day. We have to read this verse and start our search to the Lord by performing duties, performing our duties, and etc. By surrendering all our works into Krishna. By chanting Hare Krishna Mahamantra every moment of our life. So that's all for today. Thank you for watching this video till the end and see you on the next time. Hare Krishna. Please accept my humble obeisances. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.